In an unfortunate tragedy, at least 3 passengers have died and several others have been injured after several coaches of the Chandigarh-Dibrugarh express train derailed in Gonda district of Uttar Pradesh today. Rescue teams and local officials were rushed to the site of the accident, which took place around 2:30 p.m. The driver of the Chandigarh-Dibrugarh express claims he heard a loud explosion before multiple coaches derailed. A high-level inquiry has been ordered now. Enhanced compensation of 10 lakh to the family of the dead, 2.5 lakh to the grievous injured and 50,000 to minor and simple injuries have also been announced. The opposition parties, especially the Congress party, has hit out at the government over issues of rail safety. Congress party president Mallikarjun Kharge has said this is yet another instance of how Modi government has systematically jeopardized rail safety. Rahul Gandhi, Congress leader, Congress MP, has also questioned the government over continuous rail accidents, saying that these are extremely worrying and are a result of the government's mismanagement. He has said that he had a discussion with loco pilots a few days ago, and Railway Safety Commissioner's report on recent train accidents also made this very clear. Mamata Banerjee, TMC Supremo and also West Bengal Chief Minister, has posted on X saying that it's sad to know of yet another tragic rail accident today at Gonda in UP. Another derailment of train, this time of Chandigarh-Dibrugarh Express. What are the railway authorities doing? What is the government doing? Safety and security of passengers is paramount. When will the government come to senses? That is what she has said, also posting her condolences to bereaved families and prayers for the injured.
बाल बाल बच गया एक ट्रेन एक्सीडेंट हो गया जिसमें
यहाँ ये 2:30 बजे के करीब में हादसा हुआ है।
हाँ,
चंडीगढ़ डिब्रूगढ़ एक्सप्रेस में गोंडा से करीब 20 किलोमीटर आगे है ये जी। बता रहे मनकापुर अभी यहाँ से 5 किलोमीटर है।
हाँ,
और 2 बोगियाँ तो एकदम से ऐसे पलट गई हैं।
हाँ,
एक बोगी ऐसे लगी है, बाकी तो आप देख ही सकते हैं पटरियों की क्या हाल है। पटरियाँ खिसक चुकी हैं यहाँ पे।
गोंडा में ट्रेन एक्सीडेंट के बाद जो पटरियां हैं उनको रिस्टोर करने के लिए प्रयास शुरू हो गए हैं। मैं बिल्कुल उस ट्रेन साइट पर हूं जहां पे चंडीगढ़ डिब्रूगढ़ एक्सप्रेस डिरेल हुई थी। ये डब्बे हैं और इसके ठीक पीछे आप देखिए कि जो यहां पे शटरिंग काटने का काम है वो किया जा रहा है। एनडीआरएफ एसडीआरएफ के जवान और रेलवे के तमाम जो यहाँ पे कर्मचारी हैं वो अब इन डब्बों को यहाँ से हटाने के लिए जो प्रक्रिया है वो शुरू कर रहे हैं। ठीक पीछे एक जेसीबी लगाई गई है और इस जेसीबी के ज़रिए आप देखिए यहाँ पे जेसीबी है और सामने जो खंबा है उस खंबे पर एक कर्मचारी चढ़ के रस्सी लगा रहा है। और ठीक पीछे यहाँ आप देखिए जो वेल्डिंग मशीन होती है, वेल्डिंग मशीन का इस्तेमाल करके जो डब्बे हैं उनको यहाँ पे काटने का काम और उसके बाद इन पटरियों से हटाने का काम होगा। जो रेलवे के अधिकारी हैं उनका कहना ये है कि जो बगल की लाइन है, यानी कि जो डाउन लाइन और अप लाइन में जो बगल की लाइन है, ये जो लाइन है इसको सबसे पहले शुरू करने की कोशिश है और ये तभी संभव है जब एक्सीडेंट वाली साइड से इन डब्बों को हटाया जाएगा। और ये डब्बे जब यहाँ से हटा करके थोड़ा साइड हो जाएंगे तो कम से कम ये जो बगल की एक लाइन है ये लाइन शुरू की जा सकेगी। तो सबसे पहली कोशिश इसी की है और इसी के तहत ये जो अब ये डब्बों को हटाने का काम है, यानी कि रेस्टोरेशन, ट्रैक का रेस्टोरेशन, वो शुरू किया जा रहा है। इससे पहले जो प्रशासन की प्राथमिकता थी वो लोगों को यहाँ से रेस्क्यू करके अस्पताल तक या उनके ठिकानों तक पहुँचाने की थी और इसके लिए प्रशासन ने जो बसेस हैं उनकी व्यवस्था की थी और यहाँ से सारे लोगों को हटा करके अब फिलहाल जो ट्रैक रेस्टोरेशन है उसका काम शुरू कर दिया गया है।
Moving on to an important development in the courts today, it would be wrong to say that under a particular statute, bail cannot be granted. This is what the Supreme Court observed today while granting bail to a man accused under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 1967, commonly known as UAPA. While doing so, the court distinguished the recent judgment in the Gurvinder Singh versus State of Punjab. In fact, that is the judgment in which the court had basically made some serious judgments, serious orders. But today, the court, of course, said that constitutional laws have to be followed and rule of law have to be followed, and liberty is at the center of this. My colleague Ashish Bhargav joins us for more on this.
Supreme Court gives bail to an accused who was charged with the UAPA, that is Anti-Terrorism Act. And Supreme Court also said important to look that this court has time and again emphasized that the right to life and personal liberty under Article 41 of the Constitution is overarching and sacrosanct. Also, a constitutional court cannot be restrained from granting bail to an accused on the account of restrictive statutory provisions in a penal statute if it is found that the right of the accused under trial under Article 21 has been infringed. So, court said in that event such statutory relaxation would not come in the way. Even in the case of interpretation of a penal statute, however stringent it may be, a constitutional court has to lean in favor of constitutionalism and the rule of law, of which liberty is an intrinsic part. It means Supreme Court now laying a guideline for heinous cases also. If there is no trial, completed trial, and long time the person has spent long time in jail.
The Supreme Court there batting for bail versus jail and making it very clear that even in the case of heinous crimes, speedy trials is the fundamental right of the accused. Moving on, Madhya Pradesh government has said that CBI would require a written consent from the state before it can initiate inquiries in its jurisdiction. A notification to this effect was published on Tuesday. The order, of course, has retrospective effect and it has been in effect from the 1st of July. Home Department sources told NDTV that this is necessary following the implementation of the new criminal laws under Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, which is one of the 3 new criminal laws passed by the central government, which has been notified, which has also been implemented now. This is being done to ensure compliance with the new legal framework. Other BJP ruled states could also be expected to pass similar notifications. That's what sources have told NDTV. I have my colleague Anurag joining me with more details on this. Anurag, tell us what is, we've seen similar notifications being issued by states such as West Bengal, now Madhya Pradesh is doing this. Is this something that is fundamental, for the complete rollout of BNS, or is it something that states are doing to ensure, on their own?
As you have rightly pointed out, the sources in the Home Department of Madhya Pradesh government, they have clearly said that in pursuance of the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, it was mandatory. This is what the official sources have told us. Because as under Section 6 of the Delhi Police Establishment Act 1946, the CBI requires the state government's permission to conduct investigation. But, more than 10 states have they have withdrawn the consent to the CBI, and Madhya Pradesh has also joined, though officially they have not given any reason for the withdrawal of general consent. But after this, Madhya Pradesh have also joined a handful of states that have withdrawn their general consent for CBI investigations. But most of the other states are opposition ruled, like Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Jharkhand, and Kerala. Maharashtra, which had withdrawn its general consent under the previous, government led by Uddhav Thackeray, and later restored the consent under the government of Chief Minister Eknath Shinde.
Right, Anurag, thank you so much for joining us with those details. Moving on to other stories, this time from the court, and this is probably the top story of the day. Supreme Court had some tough questions for the National Testing Agency today as it heard a clutch of petitions asking for a NEET re-examination with allegations of paper leak and violations plaguing the all-important examination for medical graduates. This medical UG NEET examination results have to be published in entirety, cross-referenced by city and centre by noon on Saturday. This is what Supreme Court has mandated and asked the National Testing Agency to do. The identity of the students will of course be masked, and this would also provide some transparency to students who can get an idea of the results. Though this move has been opposed by the centre in the past, also the NTA, the next hearing in the court will be held on Monday. Moving on, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma today stated that his government has taken a significant step to ensure justice for girls by putting additional safeguards against child marriage, and in cabinet meeting today has rectified a decision to repeal the Assam Muslim Marriages and Divorce Registration Act and Rules 1935 via the Assam Repealing Bill 2024. Now this comes at a time when Assam has registered 81% reduction in child marriages between 2021 to 2024.
देखिए, चाइल्ड मैरिज ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर 80% चाइल्ड मैरिज माइनॉरिटीज में होते हैं, 20% चाइल्ड मैरिज मेजॉरिटी कम्युनिटी में भी होते हैं। सो चाइल्ड मैरिज को हम कोई रिलीजियस एंगल से नहीं देखता हूं। हमारा प्रयास होता है कि जेंडर जस्टिस मिले, चाइल्ड मैरिज असम में कम होते रहे। अभी जो हमारा लेटेस्ट जो जितना सर्वे आया है, इसमें बहुत ही एनकरेजिंग ट्रेंड देखा गया है कि असम में चाइल्ड मैरिज लगभग खत्म होने का कगार में है। हमारा दिसंबर नवंबर में और एक क्लाइंट अरेस्ट होगा।
Time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side. Welcome back. The latest flashpoint between the Aam Aadmi Party government in Punjab and the governor is over universities. In fact, it's over the universities bill. Bhagwant Mann government wants the chief minister to be the chancellor of universities rather than the state governor. But President Draupadi Murmu has refused to clear the Punjab government bill. Here's a report.
A fresh showdown between the Punjab government and the governor over the university's bill, by which the Bhagwant Mann government wants to replace the governor with the CM as the chancellor. The chief minister on Thursday launched an attack on the governor, saying an elected leader and not a selected one should be the chancellor.
ममता बनर्जी ने भी बंगाल दे विच केरला दे विच भी ਇਹ ਲਿਆਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਬਿੱਲ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਚਾਂਸਲਰ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਚੁਣਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ।
The CM also said that the governor passes the bills to the president that he himself doesn't want to pass.
ਕਿ ਗਵਰਨਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਿੱਲ ਪਾਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਰਾਸ਼ਟਰਪਤੀ ਕੋਲ ਭੇਜ ਦਿੰਦਾ, ਰਾਸ਼ਟਰਪਤੀ 4-5 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਵਾਪਸ ਭੇਜ ਦਿੰਦਾ।
President Draupadi Murmu has refused to clear the Punjab government bill, seeking the removal of Governor Banwari Lal Purohit as the chancellor of state-run universities. The bill sent to the president in December was recently returned to the Punjab Raj Bhavan. Purohit had sent 3 pending bills to the president for her consideration. The Punjab Universities Laws Amendment Bill 2023, the Sikh Gurudwaras Amendment Bill 2023 and the Punjab Police Amendment Bill 2023. 2 of the bills are still with the president. The Supreme Court has recently ruled that governors cannot sit on state bills. With Gurpreet Singh Chinna, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Moving on, Manorama Khedkar, mother of controversial IS trainee officer Pooja Khedkar, was finally arrested today morning from a lodge. She was wanted in connection with a viral video in which she is seen brandishing a firearm and threatening some villagers, possibly farmers. A Pune court has remanded her in police custody for 2 days.
IAS trainee Pooja Khedkar's mother, Manorama Khedkar, arrested from a lodge in Raigad district by the Pune police for possessing illegal firearms and sent to police custody for 2 days.
पुणे ग्रामीण डिस्ट्रिक्ट में पिछले शुक्रवार को 12 तारीख को एक गुना रजिस्टर किया गया था, जिसमें कि जो महिला आरोपी है उनको पुलिस ढूंढ रही थी और उनको आज रायगढ़ जिले के महाड़ तहसील का जो एक एरिया है हिरकनीवाड़ी, उस परिसर में से आज सुबह उनको डिटेन किया गया है। उनको अभी पौड़ पुलिस स्टेशन लाया गया है और आगे की कार्रवाई शुरू है। इसमें उनकी पूछताछ होगी और जो भी लीगल कार्रवाई होगी वो की जाएगी।
Earlier, a video of Manorama Khedkar had gone viral, where she was seen brandishing a gun while talking to a group of farmers in Mulchi Taluka in Pune. Meanwhile, Pooja Khedkar, who lodged a harassment case against the Pune collector, has been asked to submit an official statement on it.
While Manorama Khedkar has been sent to a 2-day police custody, her daughter, Pooja Khedkar, has been asked by the Pune police to submit a statement regarding the case filed by her against the Pune district collector on the grounds of harassment. This is Anuj Raite reporting from Mumbai, NDTV 24/7.
Moving on to the world of sports, Surya Kumar Yadav has been named captain of India's T20 squad for 3-match series against Sri Lanka. Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli to play in ODI series against Sri Lanka. Shubman Gill has been named vice captain of both T20 and ODI teams. Rookie pacer Harshit Rana and young batter Riyan Parag are the new faces in India's ODI squad for series against Sri Lanka. My colleague Rika has more details on this.
This would come as a shock for Hardik Pandya and his fans. Pandya would actually be quite disappointed to know that the Indian selectors are now looking at Surya Kumar Yadav as their long-term plan to be the captain of the Indian T20 team. This isn't the first time that Sky will be captaining India. He was tested during the series against Australia last year, which India won 4-1. But right now, handing over the reins of T20 captaincy seems to be a long-term plan for the Indian selectors, because the team will be looking ahead to the T20 World Cup in India in 2026, when they are going to be the defending champions. Also, it is very surprising that ahead of KL Rahul and Rishabh Pant, Shubman Gill has been handed the reins of vice captaincy of the T20 team. Remember, Gill wasn't a part of the T20 World Cup campaign for India, but he returns to the leadership group. So far as Pandya is concerned, it is understood that the selectors are a bit worried about his fitness condition, because he had an ankle injury during the 50-over World Cup. He had an injury layoff for a very long time. So they want to preserve Hardik Pandya over a period of time, which is why they decided to relieve him of leadership duties. So far as the ODI team is concerned, pretty much we knew that Rohit Sharma will be back as the captain. Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli will be back playing the ODIs in the 3 ODI series against Sri Lanka. So the seniors will be back there, but Surya Kumar Yadav and Hardik Pandya will not be seen playing the ODIs in the Emerald Island.
Also, India's largest shooting team is in Paris. 21 shooters are aiming for the medal there. National and world champion in 10M air rifle shooting, Ilavenil Valarivan, got trained before she qualified for the Paris Olympics.
It was at this state-of-art Gun for Glory Academy's shooting range in Chennai, national and world champion in 10-meter air rifle shooting, Ilavenil Valarivan, got trained before she qualified for Paris Olympics. Founded by Olympic bronze medalist Gagan Narang, his mentoring and the crucial 360-degree support by the center catapulted her to the big league. The Gun for Glory Academy, shooters say, has emerged to be a one-stop solution as it takes care of aspirants completely, from weapons to consumables to fitness.
A facility like this, with all the equipments, with all the support what they are offering, I think is a must for any athlete, because at the end of the day, everything comes down to the team what we are having, you know, a coach, a mind trainer, a psychologist, a physiotherapist, a fitness trainer, and you name it, everything is being provided by Gun for Glory. So I think an association like this is made for athletes who are aiming for the best.
Ilavenil's coach Neha Chavan, who has been her mentor since day one of her shooting career, shares a guru-shishya bond with Ilavenil that transcends beyond shooting. She has been her guide in her parents' absence, be it wake her up at 4 in the morning and even picking her up and reaching the range by 5, a routine that two have followed for the past 9 years. Over the years, the Khelo India accredited Chennai Academy and its scholarship for exceptional shooting talent has emerged topper among their centers spread over Hyderabad, Pune and Jabalpur.
It has a good infrastructure, whatever it is required. Then we have everything. We have a cafeteria downstairs. We have a swimming pool, as well as we have a gym. So everything is inside. A sports science facility, which is fantastic. We have good doctors. So everything is under one roof. Athletes come here at 8:39 in the morning, and they leave this place 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening, finishing all their work. So we are more focused and dedicated towards the sport.
In 2022, Dhanush had won a gold in Deaf Olympics, and this time the academy hopes at least 2 more would win Olympic medals. The center grooms many talents, all potential Olympians. One of them, Madineni Uma Mahesh, with national and international laurels. He aims at the 2028 Olympics.
So my aim is for next Commonwealth Games in the 2026, but the main goal is for the 2028 LA Olympics to get a gold medal for India. I would say I am here today because of this academy itself, because of the facilities they provided and the coach and the support, not only like in the shooting sport, in the life through the infrastructure, all the advanced technologies required. It's because of this academy is it possible for me today to be here.
India is fielding a 21-member Indian shooting team that will compete at the Paris 2024 Olympics. This will be India's largest ever shooting contingent at the Olympics, eclipsing the 15 from Tokyo 2020. With India achieving quotas across all Olympic shooting disciplines for the first time, the hopes for extending their medal tally and making the Paris Olympics the most successful event in history will be sky high. As Illavenil gears up for her big day in Olympics, these shooters and trainers in Chennai would be rooting for her. In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, for NDTV.
And finally, watch this, a Guwahati cop assisting differently abled to cross the bridge. In fact, this move has been appreciated by the Assam Chief Minister, Himanta Biswa Sharma, who has lauded this action by Guwahati police officer. He has said and posted on X saying Guwahati police standing true to their motto.